What's up, guys? My name is Shari, and I build systems that remove bottlenecks within businesses. And I've been documenting my builds for 117 days now, going all the way up to 365. And guys, I have to be honest with you, it's now gotten to that point where it's turned from fun excitement to just being brutally hard. I knew this journey when I expanded or when I started this journey that it was going to be hard. It was going to be one of the most difficult missions that I would probably have set for myself, but I didn't expect it to hit kind of somewhat this early, but I knew it was gonna hit 117 days now. I feel a lot tired, just to be honest with you. I feel tired in building out these videos each and every single day. Seeing the views, I don't really care about that, but just seeing the views and how they're looking, in terms of 1 to 2 views to 3 views and, all that kind of stuff, which wasn't, my main target. And I'm sure, when I started this, I had the intention of just building out for 30 days and then going up to 100 days. And now we've crushed that. And then after 100 days, I said we would do 365. And yet here we are, 117 days in. We've had some amazing guests, some amazing conversations with people that, are super crushing it, super cool, super crushing it as well. They're, doing a lot, and I wouldn't have thought, if I had started this, 117 days ago, that we would be where we are at right now, and I'm super grateful for that as well. But also at the same time, it's been one of the things that, I've realized is it's pretty tough, having to have that mental bandwidth to also remind yourself that each and every single day you have to come up with something new, you have to come up with something fresh, and you just have to record and you have to press record and just keep on building that brick that lays the foundation for what you're going to build into the future. And I knew from the beginning that it was going to be tough, when I set out to say, I'm going to do 365. But now I just realize, it requires a new level from me. It requires me to push a lot more, focus a lot more on value output and how I'm thinking about things. I don't see this more so as a point of quitting, but rather a point of, what can I do to basically carve out and, reinvent myself, if you will, into the person that just does the boring stuff each and every single day and ships. Like one of the things that I also, have been asking myself is that, what about the people that, I look up to and that I respect the work that they're doing? They ship each and every single day. Each and every single day they're just on it, on their pace, working, grinding each and every single day through the good times, through the bad times, and just, if they're able to do it and I say that I want to play at that level and just, create massive amounts of value in terms of what it is that we're going to build in terms of systems, then ultimately for me, I have to, just be able to push through those times. But yeah, it's not always sunshines and rainbows and like, oh, I'm just gonna post a video and it's just gonna be, what it is and all of that. It's also hard, and I want this to be a log to my future self to remind myself, like how hard, like doing stuff like this is, but also at the same time, it's also a reminder to remind me that, this is why it's all worth it. The reason why I started was because it was hard and I wanted to, push myself to the limits and also, document that as well. Because into the future, for me, I'm going to be, watching these back and using them as playbooks for the things that we're going to be building into the future. And how do I want to look back on it? Do I want to look back on it and be like, I gave up when I said I was going to do something? Or am I just gonna do it and not really, not really look back on it? And I think that's the most number one crucial thing to really think about, in terms of how I'm going to be building out these videos now and going on into the future. I think that is one of the most important things because, like I've, said in a couple videos, that, I'm super, grateful for all the things that I've learned as well, throughout making these videos, from, just the way that I'm able to speak now and condense ideas, and also just, connect with cool people doing cool things at the same time. That was in the beginning when we spoke about Killer Chaos OS, which right now, looking at it, is ultimately refining the mental operating system that governs, how we're making decisions and how we're also solving problems, not only for me, but also for the team as well. And I think that is, an unmatched mode, that I've been fortunate enough to build each and every single day. And I want these videos, to be as valuable as possible, even on days that, I don't really feel like recording and I don't, have the energy as much as I should have, in terms of, recording. I also want to just focus on just, making sure that they're as valuable as possible, because I think value is the number one thing that I ultimately want to give and be useful as well at the same time. And how do I best do that? Through these videos, through uploading each and every single day. And I always say, in the videos, that I would want to inspire millions of people while building Killer Chaos OS, and also building this journey as well. And I think that also comes, as a result of pushing through days like this, because then, the people that watch this into the future, they see that not each and every single day is always sunshine and rainbows. You have those days where you're just tired and you just feel like, why am I even doing this, and you don't feel like you know what you're doing, but ultimately you just have to build anyway. And I think the greatest, the sharpest operators, they ultimately, powered through days like this and times like this, and they, just constantly just went at it. And I think, for me personally, that is what makes it worth it. That makes, each and every single day worth it, because we know that, by giving up, we're giving up on the future of, building Killer Chaos OS and inspiring millions of people and having this huge amount of impact and ultimately creating value. And I think for that reason, I think it's not worth, fully, looking at it and saying, like, I feel tired and I'm just gonna give up. But I think it's one of the most, important things that, I need to, just realize that, I'm not just doing it for myself. It's not about me. It's about, people watching this. It's about everyone else that, we're gonna help create value for, and also just inspire as well. And I think that's what makes it worth it. If you're pushing hard each and every single day and you make it less about yourself and just more about the people that you'll be helping, and, keeping that big picture vision as well, I think that is one of the most important modes right now to keep in mind. And yeah, I mean, I could stop right now and just, call it quits and be super proud of myself, as well. But is that really a life that, I want to build? That I just build stuff and then I stop halfway along the journey? Or do I want to just, build cool things and inspire millions of people and, be the best of the best? I think the latter is the route that I would definitely want to take, and showing, that not each and every single day is always sunshine and rainbows, is not always easy. And recording these daily videos on top of everything else is, it requires a lot of energy and a lot of time and a lot of systems to just super dial in. But always remembering the why, I think, is also super important. And just remembering why this whole journey started, just watching the videos back and just reminding myself, like, why did I start this journey? I knew it was going to be hard, but I think all of that is what makes it a lot better. And this is a signal to just refine angles and to provide more value. I don't see it, like I said, as a means to stop. I see it as signal to basically reinvent myself and break to a new floor, and also, just be able to, find a new level for me, that ultimately shatters the old version of myself and brings in this new version that's ultimately able to push through days like this and just face through the boring stuff. And I think the boring stuff is where all the value lies. And I know that into the future, we're definitely going to get there. It's going to be long, it's going to be hard, it's going to be like these days. But ultimately, I know that it's going to be 1,000% worth it when we do get there. So I may be tired, but I'm super excited, more than anything else. May not sound like it, but I just, you just have to love the game. And I think the game is what makes it all worth it, to be honest with you. You know, you may not see the results today, you may not see the results tomorrow. You may have days where you're getting 1 to 2 to 3 views, like it is right now, but ultimately all of that is going to compound into the version of yourself that you'll look back on one day and be super proud of, and I want to build that vision. I want to continue building that, and using this as a means to push through those days and just double down on what it is that I need to do, provide more value, switch things up, testing a lot more. I think that would be the angle that I would definitely incorporate going on into the future. 1% better each and every single day does not always come in the form that you expected. It comes in days like this where, it feels boring, and you ask yourself, what am I even doing? No one's even watching these videos. But I think, at the end of the day, that's what makes it all worth it. And who lost the longest, I think that's another thing as well. Who lost the longest, and just pushing through those days, and that's what makes it all worth it. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to continue building, on top of, the videos, the newsletter as well, and just constantly just double down and just push to the limit, and beyond, creating new floors each and every single day, or each and every single cycle, if you will, and just learning a lot more and just improving each and every single day and each and every single facet. And I know we're gonna get there. It's gonna be long. It's gonna be hard. We're gonna have days like this for sure, but it's what makes it worth it. And yeah, I'm super excited to be continuing crushing it, and going, and creating value for others. I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, I just want to make this video just to, show you it's not always, easy to pump out a video and post it each and every single day. It's hard, but it's what makes it worth it, and super grateful again. So yeah, if you guys want to connect with me, make sure to check out the newsletter. I'm going to be posting each and every single week. I know I was supposed to post last week, but we had a bit of a mishap. So the newsletter shall be coming out Sunday, which should be today if you're watching this today, which is Sunday the 28th. And yeah, so if you guys, like I said, if you want to connect with me, check out the newsletter. It's the first link in the description. And also check out X, LinkedIn, Instagram that are also in the description down below. And I will see you guys in the next video.